Hello, Lori Michelle Moshiach exposes chinks in the armor. Today, Rabbi Yosef Mizrachi, you're up. Hashem chose you to be the first example that I use in my series of videos. Moshiach exposes chinks in the armor. Chinks in the armor is an expression for weaknesses, vulnerabilities, and you're revealing many weaknesses in your Torah classes online. You have quite a following, mazel tov to you. You have over 21,000 subscribers on YouTube, and you're well known in the Jewish community and maybe even the non-Jewish community. Rabbis don't get a whole lot of play around the world, but some do quite well, and you're doing quite well. But the reason that you're doing quite well is you're engaging in behaviors that are unbecoming of a lofty rabbi. And so this is Moshiach addressing you directly, whether you believe I'm Moshiach or not. I'm Lori Michelle. I'm here with Hashem. I speak with him 24/7 in plain English, every day, every night. I live, eat, breathe, and do everything with Hashem, King of the universe. And this is my moral obligation. And so I'm going to start by sharing my screen with you, Rabbi Mizrachi. And I'm going to open what I have queued up with you, speaking on three different clips where I can show you where you're going wrong. But before I'm showing you chinks in your armor, I'm going to show you that you've given me your permission.
Careful. So what is this, a sin or a mitzvah to warn another person from him? It's mitzvah. You have to warn people. If you know he's a professional crook, con artist, that scam people on a daily basis, then you're allowed to publish him to the people. If you know he's a fake rabbi that gives speeches and everything he's saying in his speeches is the opposite of the Torah, you must. It's not a privilege, maybe yes, maybe not. You must publish him to the world.
So thank you. You did exactly what rabbis around the world one day will do for Moshiach. You sourced what I'm doing right now. I am obligated, I'll make this a little larger so you can see me speak to you. I'm obligated, Rabbi Mizrachi, to do what I'm doing right now, showing you the chinks in your armor, but doing it in a way that's appropriate, that's in line with Hashem's Torah, that is with his approval, and not speak one word of Lashon Hara. Hashem says, I'm incapable of speaking Lashon Hara, and I don't really know that. I'm sure I'm going to be accused of speaking Lashon Hara about you because you have quite a following and people love you around the world, but a lot of people do not like you or appreciate you, and you've been banned from coming to certain locations where they don't want you to speak. You're very polarizing, and your speech is filled with Lashon Hara. You don't recognize that. So I'm going to show you a couple of videos where I've seen it, but it's in every single one of the videos that I've seen of you online. And by the way, I think you're very charming, or can be, but you veer into this ugliness that's around the world, and it works. Lashon Hara, evil speech, trolling, all this nasty behavior that we see on social media attracts people, and it stirs them, and it gets quite a following and lots of thumbs up, but it's evil nonetheless. So let's start with video number 1, where in this video, it's called The Last Month of the Life of Moses. In the same video that you gave me permission to do this video about you, you're speaking about a rabbi who you disparage and say is not a rabbi at all. And his name is Rav Moshe Kazuto, Dror Moshe Kazuto. I don't know him personally. He calls himself Rav. He may not be a rabbi. I don't know. This is not necessarily about him specifically. This is about you and how you're addressing another Jewish person online who also has quite a following. And perhaps in future videos where I'm exposing chinks in the armor, I will address Rav Kazuto directly. But this is about you. This is for you. And I hope you feel honored that I'm using you first as my example of chinks in the armor. It is an honor. So let's play this video and let's see what you say about Rav Kazuto.
You see from here that when a person breaks Shabbat, only Jews I'm talking about. Gentiles, they don't have to keep Shabbat. Jews, if they break Shabbat, it's a very big sin. So according to Mr. Kazuto, the genius, if your wife is now in an angry mood and she want to go with a bikini in front of Tony and Vinny and to become Machtiyat Arabim, which according to the Gemara, it's Yehareg velo ya'avor. A woman should die before she expose herself in public like this.
Okay. Very brief clip. A very brief clip. And there's enough here for me to talk about. First, addressing Rav Kazuto and calling him the genius is mockery, lashon hara. I don't really have to go further than saying it's mockery. You called him a name, the genius. You're telling him you're stupid and I'm smart. Ego, narcissism, evil speech, breaking Torah law right here in plain view. But what else do you do here? You're talking about Shabbos, and you're taking issue with Rav Kazuto telling one of his followers that it was okay to take his wife to the beach on Shabbos. And you're incensed by this. But in your example of why it breaks Torah law, you break Torah law. How so? You're using non-Jewish names in a derogatory way on this video, that he's recommending a Jew take his wife to be naked in front of Vinny and Tony, clearly Goyish names. So you're disparaging whoever's on the beach that day by saying the lowly Goyim. Do you see what I'm saying? Does anybody see what I'm saying? Or are you just gonna stiffen your back and stiffen your neck and say, how dare you disparage Rabbi Mizrachi? He's right. He shouldn't be taking his wife in a bikini on the beach in front of Tony and Vinny. But it's polarizing. It's disparaging to the non-Jews who are on the beach, who don't have to keep Shabbos. And why use those names? How do you know David and Joshua and other secular Jews aren't on the beach that day also? So why are you doing this? Why are you also saying that any woman who would ever wear a bikini is nothing better than a street harlot? That's what you're saying in no uncertain terms. You should die before you appear in public in a bikini. Hashem just said that's false. No, it's not the code of Jewish law. No, it's not tznius. No, it's not the way from Jews dress. But I was a secular Jew for many years and wore many bikinis on the beach. I didn't know. I didn't know I shouldn't wear a bikini on the beach. It was my way of life. It was my upbringing. It was considered perfectly okay. So what are you doing, or what do you hope to do with this video of disparaging non-Jews, every woman who's ever worn a bikini in public? You're alienating women, non-Jews, secular Jews, the whole kit and caboodle. You're preaching to your little choir of frum Orthodox Jews. And it's horrible, truly. It's embarrassing because we need to be better than this. We need to attract people and explain to them why it would be better not to dress like that in public. Perhaps, you know, the code of Jewish law regarding dress and modesty is going to change in the world to come. You don't know this, but I know this. And if you look through over 300 videos of mine, you will see I don't cover my hair. And on many occasions, I wear tank tops. So Hashem has said to me, Lori, you're dressed perfectly in my eyes. So you don't know who's going to be cut off from the world to come because you're not Hashem. And you're inferring here that Rav Kazuto is not a rabbi, that he's leading people off of a cliff, that any woman who wears a bikini is a prostitute or should rather die than appear in public in a bikini. It's all wrong, and it's all alienating, and it's all polarizing, and it's Lashon Hara and narcissism personified by someone who's supposed to be a rabbi, a light to the light unto the nations. I've said enough about this short clip, but I'm going to show you another one that I saw recently. What would have happened if JC would have showed up today? I'll talk about it after I play it.
So what happened now? If JC would come today and then put a big sign, Tzaddik Balair, long beard, peot, turban. They all had turbans though in those days, like the Ben Ish Chai. Long dress, like the Mekubalim of Morocco, or Tarbush, whatever it was. And he would come and someone would hold his hand, like the babot, you know, or like this. And he would show up in Israel. And people would come to Rabbi, my son, give him bracha. And then he would begin to give divrei Torah. Right away, he will become the tzaddik of Israel. You know how much Torah he knew? He learned by the Tana, Rabbi Yoshua ben Farchia. We will learn a million years, we cannot enter the yeshiva of Rabbi Yoshua ben Farchia. He knew a lot of Torah. He wasn't a fool. Not like today, Rabbanim that they are Amei Aratzot. Amei Aratzot Gmurim, like one of them. He said, if your wife is not ready to go to the mikveh, leave her alone. Don't force her. You have a problem, go to a prostitute. Beard like this. What's going on? And today it's become the Wild West. Everyone take a camera, open a YouTube channel, and become a Baba Sali speaker. Hashem Yerachem. If your wife wants you to take her to the beach on Shabbat, you must start your car and take her to the beach because it's Shlom Bayit.
You couldn't, I'm going to stop share now. You couldn't help yourself but to disparage Rav Kazuto yet again. But this video addressing JC, I need to talk to you about that because Rabbi Mizrachi, JC, Yeshua ben Yosef, was Moshiach ben David. You don't know that. You're probably going to X out of this video. Maybe not, because it's about you. And you have a very inflated sense of self. I have heard that you've compared yourself to Moshe Rabbeinu. And I don't know, if you're old enough, he's probably old enough, Hashem, to know about the vice presidential debates back in 1988 with Lloyd Benson and Dan Quayle, where Dan Quayle intimated that he was like Jack Kennedy. And Lloyd Benson replied in a very famous debate in a clip, I know Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. I worked with Jack Kennedy, and you're no Jack Kennedy. Well, I'm here to tell you that I know Hashem, King of the universe, and he knew Moshe Rabbeinu, and he says, you're no Moshe Rabbeinu. You're comparing yourself to the greatest tzaddik prophet in Jewish history, next to Yeshua ben Yosef. Both those men were Moshiach. You don't know that, and you're disparaging Yeshua ben Yosef, calling him J or JC, and saying he was really smart. You like that he was a Jew, and you like that he was really smart, so you'll take credit for that. But will you take credit for the fact that he was Moshiach ben David? Credit. Meaning, will you honor him and accept that you got it wrong? Not likely. It's not likely that you will admit that you've gotten anything wrong. But this is a very telling video. Why? Because as the light unto the nations, you're supposed to be the light unto every nation, and you're disparaging the Messiah of the Christians. And not only the Messiah of the Christians, but Hashem says the Messiah of the world. But guess who else recognizes Yeshua ben Yosef as being Mashiach? The Muslims. About 4 billion people recognize Yeshua ben Yosef as the Jewish Mashiach. Very few people in this world fight that, and you're one of them. And we will not have world redemption, peace on earth, until you accept the fact that he was Mashiach and that the Sanhedrin was wrong. They brutalized and beat the Mashiach and sent him to the Romans for a morbid and gruesome crucifixion. So you don't think he was Mashiach because he didn't get the job done. That's your big claim to fame, right? Jay didn't get it done, so he can't be Mashiach. But I'm here to tell you that redemption is not a given. We will not definitely have redemption unless and until rabbis and Jews like you step up and behave like Mashiach, meaning refrain from lashon hara, divisive language, narcissism, evil speech, polarization, the things that you're engaging in online. And you're sitting back and you're Jay, disparaging a beautiful Jewish Rav who was Mashiach ben David. So you don't believe that, but I'm going to move on to one more thing. One more thing that could be an easy chink in your armor, but by now I've probably lost you because you don't want to accept that Jay was Mashiach any more than you want to accept that Mommy Messiah, Lori Michelle, is Mashiach. And you probably won't even jump online and buy the Torah Part 2. But if you're smart, you will, because you'll understand that a Jewish mommy from New Jersey would never risk her life like I am right now unless I was Mashiach. So the third and final thing that I'm going to recommend to you is lose some weight. You've gone the wrong way with your health. It's very clear in your videos over the years, you've packed on some extra pounds. So why am I saying that? Am I being catty and malicious and putting you down? Absolutely not. Just last week in Israel, in the media, they posted a story about how Israel is suffering from obesity. Half of all Israelis are now overweight or obese. And that pales in comparison to the United States of America, who is the leader in obesity, with over 70% of the public being either overweight or obese. And so what does being obese have to do with anything about being a rabbi and chinks in your armor? There's a mitzvah called guard your health. And if you're obese and you're showing your form and you're sitting back in your chair and, and all your rolls of heaviness is being seen by thousands, millions of people around the world, what does that tell the world? Well, you get fat, you get old, you get fat. It's okay. It's not okay. You need to guard your health, Rabbi Mizrachi. You need to put some sneakers on. You need to put down the challah on Shabbos. One slice is enough. You need to lose some weight and be a respectable looking rabbi. Along with cleaning up your mouth, you need to clean up your diet, because people look to you and respect you. And if you make it okay to be overweight or obese, so will they. You need to be the light unto the nations. You need to guard your health, because here's the biggest warning I can give you. This is your last chance. This is your last hurrah. These are the end of days. And so what does that mean? It means we're at the end of the road. There are no more chances. You mess this up right now, you're done. If we mess this up, if we don't repair the chinks in our armor and clean up this horrific mess and save this world and everyone in it from imploding, he just said we can't save everyone. He said 2/3. We can only hope to save 2/3 of humanity. Do you realize how many people are about to perish and not be welcomed into the world to come? It might be you if you don't wake up and heed this call. You're so darn sure that you have it right, that you're giving divine information, and you're not. You're speaking evil, you're alienating Jews and Christians alike around the world, and yeah, you're getting thumbs up, yeah, you tell them you're so wonderful, and they don't know. They don't know what I know. Some people do. There are rabbis and Jewish people who are appalled at the way you speak online, and you know this. And so what are you doing? It emboldens you, because you get more people telling you to keep going, and they're wrong. Hedge your bets, listen to me, buy my book, and rewatch this video and try to see what I see. It stinks from Yetzirah. And you are overweight. Listen, I'm older and I put on weight. It's very easy to do in this world. There are secret forces in our foods. There's poisons. There's poison in the air. It's very hard to control your weight. But as a rabbi and a light unto the nations, you need to control yourself. You need to control your mouth. You need to control what comes out of your mouth and what goes in your mouth. Time to be the light. Time to shore up those chinks and get rid of them and be welcomed into Hashem's world to come. Hedge your bets, I'm telling the truth. Won't you be very ashamed if you find out I'm telling the truth? He says you're about to be deeply sorry. And I hope so. You know why? Because then I win. Because then you fix your problems and I get to work with you. We get to bring forward world peace in our time. I look like Richard Nixon, don't I? I am not a crook. Okay, sorry. I had to put a little humor in here. Anyway, buy the book, Rabbi. I'm here for you. I'm not hiding. Call me.